This place is overlooked by an active volcano. So it kind of makes sense that it's mostly peaceful, but sometimes it's really, really chaotic. I was here to see and experience as much of Sorrento as possible. But not only that, I was here to capture the essence of this town on my silly little film camera for my upcoming European photo book. As usual, we didn't have very long, about 3 days, and I can't really be trusted to focus on the task at hand for very long. So as you can imagine, getting good photos for this photo book would be a bit of a challenge. Since we got into Sorrento in the late afternoon, we threw together some pasta at our weird glamping pod and prepared ourselves for a big excursion the next day. But before that, we decided to explore just as the sun started to set. Oh yeah, just so you know, if you hear this noise, then it means I've taken a shot that I kind of think is book-worthy. And if we're lucky, we might hear that quite a bit in this video. Exploring random walking routes is a top tip when you're trying to get interesting shots in a new place. Usually, I just go on all trails and see what's around me. If you're unlucky, you might get harassed by a gang of aggressive cows. But if you're lucky, you'll be getting a bunch of cool photos. So that's a risk I'm usually willing to take. I can't tell you how cool that pitiful little jump was in my head. Sorrento, eh? Can't live with it, can't live without it. This is a shot that I wish was better, because I think it's got potential. First of all, I love using movement, and this shot's really textured. But I think the concept is better than the execution on this one. It's the kind of picture I'll try again in the future, and it might work there, but for this one, it's just okay for me. As the sun fully set, we knew we'd have to head back because the next day we were heading to the island of Capri. Now, if you want to spend loads of money, and get pissed on limoncellos, then Capri is probably the place for you. But for us, we were rushing through and trying to see as much of the island as we could within about 4 hours. Too bougie for me, this. Photography-wise, Capri hadn't really worked out. I think sometimes the mixture of midday sun and having very little time just doesn't work that well for me. In my old age, I need time for my brain to get going. So with that, we ended day 2 and headed towards our best and final day, where we were finally gonna see what Sorrento was all about. I didn't really have any idea what it'd be like, but I'd seen my fair share of tourist towns, and they're often kind of a letdown. But places can surprise you, and Sorrento was about to do just that.
I'm just thinking of the sun.
Well, don't get your outfit as well, though.
Every town or city in Europe has its old town that's full of shops that are selling tat. And initially I was thinking, is this it? Another samey tourist town? But once you head off the beaten track just a little bit, you can find more authentic parts of Sorrento pretty easily. I just found out my missing film has been delivered as well, so I'm a happy boy. This is possibly one of my favourite pictures from the whole trip. Obviously, Mount Vesuvius is kind of the subject or a prop of a lot of these shots. But it just works so damn well, and this picture feels so authentically Italian. I don't know how many times Mount Vesuvius featured in my shots, but it's just a good element to include. It's good to see these features without them being the absolute main part of them. They're an element rather than the whole photo. And that's when I think you get the best out of a landmark. When a snippet of a landmark shows its face rather than being the whole picture, I think it can be much, much more effective on the whole. After this, we headed back to the campsite to get changed for a meal. And then we decided to take our lives in our hands and walk down into Sorrento, where I got yet another one of my favourite shots. I'd seen this old car each time we took the shuttle bus to and from the campsite, and luckily there wasn't anything parked by it this time. This shot feels perfect to me, and it's absolutely what I want to be shooting. Like, there's this old banger that probably hasn't moved for years, with a volcano in the background that hasn't erupted for years. Some photos just take themselves, and I just happened to be the dumbass holding the camera at the time. Frankenstein lens here. See you and your gang, mate. With our meal fast approaching, we wandered through town, getting some general mediocreness, until this shot. If you know me, then you know I love to show movement in my shots. I don't think this one is perfect, but for the last shot in Sorrento, I think it's great. It feels like Sorrento, and that's what I want from my photos. I want to create a feeling. This had been one of the biggest highlights of our European trip, and photographically, it was a dream. Obviously, although I've labelled so many of my photos as book-worthy, it doesn't mean that they'll make the grade, but it does mean that they were along the lines of what I wanted to achieve. If you're interested in a European photo book, then go and click the link down below and subscribe to my email list. You'll be the first to hear about it, you'll get the first chance to order it. I'm really excited about this one. There's loads of pictures that I haven't put in videos that I wanted to make as more of a surprise for the book. So far, I'm aiming to get it out before Christmas time, so hopefully not too long. Anyway, if you love this one, then I've got loads of really good videos that you're going to love as well. So go and take a look at those. Thank you so much. Take care, and I don't know, have a fun day.